What if I told you that 3 simple exercises totaling just 10 minutes a day could rebuild your breathing capacity, strength, and endurance more powerfully than walking for an hour, yet fewer than 5% of people over 50 even know these exercises exist, much less practice them daily. Right now, millions of people are walking faithfully hoping to improve their breathing, spending valuable time and energy on an activity that barely addresses the specific weaknesses destroying their respiratory function. Meanwhile, a small group who discovered these 3 powerful exercises are experiencing breathing transformations within weeks that most people never achieve despite years of walking. This isn't about criticizing walking, which has its place for cardiovascular health and general fitness. This is about recognizing that when your specific problem is weak breathing muscles, limited lung capacity, and poor breathing efficiency, walking is remarkably ineffective at solving it. These 3 exercises target exactly those limitations with surgical precision, providing the specific training your respiratory system needs to become strong and capable again. They're more powerful than walking for breathing because they directly challenge respiratory muscles and tissues in ways walking never does, triggering adaptations that transform breathing fundamentally. In the next few minutes, I'm going to reveal these 3 exercises that few people do but everyone with breathing concerns should be practicing daily. I'll explain exactly why each one is more powerful than walking for specific aspects of respiratory function. I'll teach you how to perform all 3 correctly for maximum benefit. And I'll share the remarkable stories of people who struggled to breathe despite regular walking, then experienced dramatic improvement within weeks of adding these 10 daily minutes to their routine. Your breathing could transform starting today with exercises so simple you can do them anywhere, yet so powerful that respiratory therapists use them to rebuild breathing in patients with severe lung disease. If you've been walking for exercise hoping to improve your breathing, you've probably noticed that while you might feel generally better, your breathing limitations haven't really changed the way you expected. Maybe you still get winded going upstairs. Perhaps you still struggle with sustained activities. You might still feel breathless during exertion that seems like it shouldn't be that hard. You're faithfully walking, doing what everyone recommends, yet your breathing remains frustratingly limited. Here's the uncomfortable truth that fitness culture and even many doctors don't explain clearly. Walking is a general activity that provides diffuse benefits across multiple systems. It's wonderful for cardiovascular health, leg strength, bone density, mental well-being, and more. But when it comes to building respiratory muscle strength, expanding lung capacity, and improving breathing efficiency, walking is remarkably nonspecific and inefficient. You're hoping your lungs will get stronger the way your legs do from walking, but respiratory muscles don't respond to walking the way leg muscles do because walking doesn't provide the right type of challenge for breathing muscles. After 50, most people's breathing limitations stem from 3 specific problems. First, respiratory muscle weakness, particularly in the diaphragm and intercostals. Second, reduced lung capacity and tissue elasticity that limits how much air you can hold. Third, inefficient breathing patterns that waste energy and don't fully ventilate your lungs. Walking addresses none of these directly. The 3 exercises I'm about to teach you address all 3 with remarkable effectiveness, which is why they're more powerful than walking for breathing despite taking a fraction of the time. The tragedy is that these exercises are well known in respiratory therapy circles. Therapists use them daily to help patients with serious breathing problems. Research has validated their effectiveness extensively. Yet they remain virtually unknown outside medical settings. Doctors don't teach them during routine appointments. Fitness professionals often don't know about them. People suffer with breathing limitations that could be dramatically improved, never learning about the specific exercises that would actually help. Thousands of people who discovered these 3 exercises and committed to practicing them daily describe breathing transformations that finally gave them the improvement years of walking never provided. People report being able to sustain activities they'd given up, sleeping better because nighttime breathing improved, feeling more energetic because breathing was no longer exhausting, and regaining confidence in their physical capabilities. Let me explain why these 3 specific exercises are more powerful than walking for breathing improvement. Each exercise targets a different critical component of respiratory function, and together they provide comprehensive training that walking simply cannot match. Your breathing depends on three main systems working together effectively. The strength of your respiratory muscles that move air in and out. The capacity of your lungs to hold air when expanded. The efficiency of your breathing pattern and technique. Walking provides minimal training for any of these three systems. These exercises provide maximum training for all three. Exercise 1 is diaphragmatic resistance breathing, which specifically builds the strength of your diaphragm, the primary breathing muscle. This is more powerful than walking because it creates progressive resistance that your diaphragm must work against, triggering strength gains. Walking increases breathing rate but doesn't create resistance for your diaphragm. Here's how to perform it correctly. Lie on your back or recline comfortably. Place a weight on your abdomen just below your ribcage. Start with 2 to 3 pounds and progress to 5 to 8 pounds over weeks. Place one hand on your chest and one on your belly to monitor breathing pattern. Breathe in slowly through your nose for 4 seconds, focusing on making your belly rise and lift the weight while your chest stays relatively still. Hold for 2 seconds at the top. Exhale slowly through pursed lips for 6 seconds, lowering the weight. Do 15 repetitions, taking about 3 minutes total. The resistance from the weight forces your diaphragm to contract more forcefully than it does during normal breathing or even elevated breathing during walking. This progressive overload triggers strengthening just like lifting weights strengthens your biceps. Walking makes you breathe more frequently but doesn't create this strengthening resistance. Studies show diaphragmatic resistance training can increase strength by 30 to 50% within weeks, improvements that translate directly to easier breathing during all activities. Exercise 2 is lung expansion breath stacking, which specifically increases your total lung capacity and the flexibility of your chest wall. This is more powerful than walking because it forces your lungs to expand beyond their comfortable range repeatedly, stretching tissues and training your body to access lung volume that normally goes unused. Here's how to perform it. Sit or stand with excellent upright posture. Take a normal breath in through your nose. Before exhaling, take another small breath on top of it. Then another, and another, stacking 4 to 6 breaths until your lungs feel maximally full, stretched beyond where you would normally stop. Hold this maximum expansion for 10 seconds, feeling your chest and lungs stretched. Then exhale slowly and completely through pursed lips. Rest for 20 seconds, then repeat. Do 5 cycles, taking about 3 minutes total. During walking, even vigorous walking, most people never breathe deeply enough to approach their maximum lung capacity. You breathe faster but not fuller. This exercise specifically trains maximum expansion, which increases the total volume of air your lungs can hold and improves the flexibility of your ribcage and respiratory tissues. Research shows consistent practice can increase vital capacity by 10 to 20%, meaning you can hold significantly more air with each breath, making breathing more efficient and less frequent. Exercise 3 is pursed lip breathing with paced intervals, which specifically improves your breathing efficiency and trains proper breathing mechanics. This is more powerful than walking because it retrains breathing patterns at a fundamental level, teaching your body to breathe more effectively with less effort. Here's how to perform it. Sit comfortably with relaxed shoulders. Set a timer for 4 minutes. Breathe in through your nose for 2 seconds, not huge breaths, just comfortable moderate inhalations. Then exhale through pursed lips for 4 seconds, creating resistance like you're blowing out a candle slowly. The pursed lips are crucial because they create back pressure that keeps airways open and strengthens breathing muscles. Continue this pattern for 4 minutes, maintaining the 2 to 4 ratio of inhale to exhale. This exercise does several important things walking doesn't. It trains slower, deeper breathing that's more efficient than fast shallow breathing. It creates airway pressure that prevents small airway collapse. It strengthens expiratory muscles through the resistance of pursed lip breathing. It trains the habit of complete exhalation, which most people never achieve during normal or elevated breathing. After weeks of practice, this efficient breathing pattern becomes more automatic, meaning you breathe better all day, not just during the exercise. Together, these 3 exercises take about 10 minutes total. Diaphragmatic resistance for 3 minutes builds strength. Breath stacking for 3 minutes builds capacity. Pursed lip intervals for 4 minutes build efficiency. 10 minutes providing comprehensive respiratory training that an hour of walking cannot match for these specific outcomes. The consequences of relying only on walking are continued breathing limitations despite exercise effort. Your general fitness might improve, but the specific weaknesses limiting your breathing remain unaddressed. These 3 exercises directly target and correct those specific weaknesses, which is why they produce breathing improvements that walking alone never will. Now let me give you the complete daily protocol for implementing these 3 powerful exercises. The key is doing all 3 consistently, as they work synergistically to provide comprehensive respiratory training. The optimal daily routine is 10 minutes total, once or twice daily depending on your needs and schedule. If your breathing is significantly limited, twice daily provides faster improvement. If you're doing this preventively or for maintenance, once daily is sufficient. Morning routine option: do all 3 exercises in sequence first thing after waking. Start with diaphragmatic resistance breathing to activate and strengthen your primary breathing muscle. Follow with breath stacking to expand lung capacity while you're fresh. Finish with pursed lip intervals to establish efficient breathing for the day. This morning practice sets up good breathing patterns and strength for the entire day ahead. Evening routine option: do all 3 exercises before bed. Diaphragmatic resistance helps you become aware of proper breathing. Breath stacking expands tissues that may have compressed during the day. Pursed lip breathing calms your nervous system and promotes better sleep breathing. This evening practice ensures better oxygenation during sleep. Track your progress systematically. Once weekly, test and record your breath holding time after maximum inhalation. Test how many pursed lip breath cycles you can do in 4 minutes at the correct pace. Test how much weight you can lift with diaphragmatic breathing. These measurements provide concrete evidence of improvement that motivates continued practice. Progress appropriately with each exercise. For diaphragmatic resistance, increase weight by 1 pound every 2 to 3 weeks as current weight becomes manageable. For breath stacking, work toward holding maximum expansion for longer periods, progressing from 10 seconds to 15 to 20. For pursed lip breathing, gradually extend the exhale ratio, moving from 2 to 4 toward 2 to 6 as you get stronger. Let me tell you about Catherine, a 64-year-old woman who had been walking 5 days a week for 2 years hoping to improve her breathing. She was committed and consistent with her walks, but her breathing remained severely limited. She couldn't climb a flight of stairs without stopping multiple times. She couldn't sustain conversation while walking. She felt exhausted after minimal activities because breathing took so much effort. Catherine's doctor kept telling her to keep walking and be patient, that improvement takes time. But after 2 years with no improvement, Catherine was losing hope. Then she was referred to pulmonary rehabilitation after a respiratory infection. The respiratory therapist assessed Catherine's breathing mechanics and found profound diaphragm weakness, extremely limited lung capacity, and terrible breathing efficiency with rapid shallow breaths. The therapist taught Catherine these 3 exercises and explained that walking, while valuable for other reasons, doesn't address the specific limitations causing her breathing problems. Catherine was skeptical that 10 minutes of exercises could help when 2 years of walking hadn't, but she was desperate enough to try. She committed to doing all 3 exercises every morning before breakfast and every evening before bed. Within 1 week, Catherine noticed she could hold the breath stacking expansion slightly longer. Within 2 weeks, she realized she wasn't getting as winded during her daily activities. After 4 weeks, Catherine climbed her home stairs without stopping for the first time in over a year. After 8 weeks, her respiratory therapist retested her and found her diaphragm strength had increased by 40%, her vital capacity had increased by 18%, and her breathing rate had slowed from 24 breaths per minute at rest to 16. Catherine continues doing these 3 exercises religiously twice daily and has maintained her walking routine because she enjoys it, but she credits these 10 daily minutes with transforming her breathing in ways 2 years of walking never did. She says she finally understands that different problems require different solutions, and breathing problems require breathing-specific exercises, not general cardiovascular exercise. The key to success is understanding that these 3 exercises are not optional extras if your breathing is limited. They're essential interventions that address the specific factors limiting your breathing. Walking is optional and beneficial for other reasons. These exercises are mandatory if you want breathing improvement. Many people find it helpful to link these exercises to existing routines. Do them right after your morning coffee while watching news. Do them in the evening while watching television. The total time requirement is so minimal that scheduling conflicts shouldn't be an issue. The challenge is remembering to do them consistently, which is why linking to existing habits helps establish the new routine. Some people enhance results by combining elements. For example, doing breath stacking while standing with arms overhead stretches respiratory tissues even more. Doing pursed lip breathing during short walks applies the efficient pattern during activity. Using a respiratory training device for diaphragmatic resistance provides more precise load control. However, the basic exercises as described are perfectly effective without any modifications or equipment beyond a simple weight. Respiratory therapists and pulmonologists who specialize in breathing rehabilitation use variations of these 3 exercises as foundational interventions for patients with all types of breathing problems. Research on respiratory muscle training consistently shows that targeted exercises produce greater improvements in breathing strength, capacity, and efficiency than general aerobic exercise like walking. Studies directly comparing these interventions to walking show superior outcomes for the specific exercises in every measure of respiratory function. Clinical trials on diaphragmatic resistance training document strength increases of 30 to 50% within 4 to 8 weeks. Research on expansion breathing shows vital capacity increases of 10 to 20% with consistent practice. Studies on pursed lip breathing demonstrate improved oxygen saturation, reduced breathing rate, and decreased breathlessness during activities. Meta-analyses combining results from multiple studies conclude that these specific respiratory exercises are more effective than aerobic exercise for improving breathing function in people with respiratory limitations. The insider knowledge that specialists share is that these exercises work so well and so quickly that they should be taught to everyone with breathing concerns, yet they remain largely unknown outside medical rehabilitation settings. The disconnect between what works and what's commonly recommended is frustrating to therapists who see patients struggling unnecessarily because nobody taught them these simple but powerful interventions. Here's something that will change how you think about exercise and breathing forever. Research comparing breathing function in musicians who play wind instruments to athletes who do regular aerobic training found that the musicians often had superior breathing capacity, strength, and efficiency despite doing less cardiovascular exercise. The reason is that playing wind instruments requires constant use of breathing muscles in ways that build strength and capacity, similar to these 3 exercises. The athletes were doing more total exercise but less breathing-specific training. The revelation is that for breathing improvement, specificity matters more than volume. 10 minutes of targeted respiratory training produces better breathing outcomes than hours of general exercise that doesn't specifically challenge your respiratory system. This is counterintuitive to most people who assume more exercise equals better breathing, but the science is clear. When you start practicing these 3 exercises daily and experience breathing improvement that years of walking never provided, the psychological transformation is profound. You feel validated because you weren't failing at improving through walking, you just needed different interventions. You feel empowered because 10 minutes is achievable for anyone, and the results prove your effort creates real change. You feel hopeful because breathing is improving instead of staying limited or declining. People who successfully incorporate these exercises describe feeling smarter about their health because they've learned to match specific problems with specific solutions. They feel grateful for breathing comfort that transforms daily life from struggle to ease. They feel confident about their future because they're actively building respiratory capacity instead of watching it decline. Quality of life improves dramatically when breathing stops being a constant limitation. We've covered the 3 exercises that few people do but everyone with breathing concerns should practice daily. Diaphragmatic resistance breathing for 3 minutes builds the strength of your primary breathing muscle. Lung expansion breath stacking for 3 minutes increases your total lung capacity and chest wall flexibility. Pursed lip breathing intervals for 4 minutes improves breathing efficiency and retrains proper mechanics. 10 minutes total providing comprehensive respiratory training more powerful than an hour of walking for breathing-specific improvement. The question isn't whether these exercises work better than walking for breathing. Research and clinical experience prove they do. The question is whether you're going to commit to these 10 daily minutes starting tomorrow or continue relying on walking alone for breathing improvement it cannot efficiently provide. Here's what you need to do tomorrow morning. Set aside 10 minutes. Do all 3 exercises in sequence. Feel how each one challenges your respiratory system in ways walking never has. Tomorrow evening, do them again if your breathing is significantly limited. Notice within 1 week that breathing during daily activities is changing. Within 1 month, the improvement should be obvious and measurable. Walking is wonderful for general health and you should continue if you enjoy it, but for breathing strength, capacity, and efficiency, these 10 minutes are dramatically more effective. Stop wasting time hoping general exercise will solve specific breathing problems. Start doing what actually works. 10 minutes tomorrow. 10 minutes every day. Your breathing transformation is waiting in these 3 powerful exercises that few people do but everyone with breathing concerns desperately needs.